Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Gimme a Hole Yeah podcast. My name's Sam, and I'm flying solo tonight. No Dom, just me. No Andy either. Just myself taking you through SmackDown. Yeah, let's get into it. Waiting for the show to start. Let's have an introduction. Who's it gonna be from? Let's have Shotzi Blackheart.
Hello, this is Shotzi Blackheart, and welcome to Gimme a Hole Yeah! I hope everyone checking this out in Yorkshire and beyond is having a great day.
Cracks me up. Cracks me up sometimes how some American guys say Yorkshire. Yorkshire. Yeah, it's meant to be 2 syllables, but it is spelt like Yorkshire, so it's easy to get it wrong if you're not from there. Technically, I'm not from Yorkshire either. Oh, hello, Sassy, and we've got Daniel in as well. So let's just quickly do some comments. Oh, there's Daniel. Here he is. And we've got Sassy. Got a few people in so far. Hello, guys. Got Mark as well saying Heyman is rumored to be opening the show. I hope so, because there's nothing better than a Paul Heyman promo. Where is Dan? Daniel is saying. Dan doesn't cover SmackDown. He only covers Raw and does the roundtables and the pay-per-views like the rest of us. Dom isn't here tonight because he is away. I forgot where is he? He's in Iceland. I think he's going to some nice spas and such. I imagine, knowing him, it should be nice and relaxing. The guy needs a little bit of time off, but he'll be back. He'll be back next week. It won't be me flying solo. And Sassy is absolutely right. Shop is open for all your Gimme a Hole Yeah needs. I will be wearing an awful lot of Gimme a Hole Yeah merch at WrestleMania. I'll also be wearing a few WrestleSphere things as well. So it's a shame, really, because I own so much WWE gear that I really, really should be wearing, but I'll be wearing my own stuff to try and plug WrestleSphere and Gimme a Hole Yeah as much as I can, really. And I don't know about the other guys, but that's what I'll be doing. Richard Smith, hi guys, it's just me tonight, Richard Smith. Yeah, so we're full of Smiths, but there's no Dom Smith tonight. Just me, I'm afraid. So wait for SmackDown to begin. We've got a couple of matches announced so far. A tag team match between the Usos, Braun Strowman and Ricochet. Again, I can't see Strowman and Ricochet winning, so close to Mania. We've also got a fatal four-way planned, which I believe is Karrion Kross, Santos Escobar, Rey Mysterio, and Madcap Moss. So that'll be interesting. You've got to think that Karrion Kross comes out of that the winner, because, saying that, Rey Mysterio is in there. He's probably the biggest, most over star. And you're going to have to forgive me tonight, guys. I've been ill this week. I haven't been very well, and I'm still a little bit dodgy, truth be told. Chest and throat aren't brilliant. Bit of a cough. It's not COVID. Got tested. Ain't that. Just classic man flu. But you have to forgive me tonight if I'm a bit yawny and a little bit groggy, because I've not been well. I actually wasn't working yesterday because of it. And it's, again, I work from home. So if I'm ever not working when I work from home, it means something's very wrong. Even tonight, like yesterday, I didn't think tonight would happen, but here we are. I feel a little better. Oh, hi, Saucy Sam. Hello, Sassy. We've still got the AEW purple on our names. I don't know how I get that off, but I don't think I'm that bothered about it, so we'll keep it there. Hey, Todd. How you doing, mate? Nice to see you. What's Mark saying here? Would you call Corey Graves and co. laughing at Chelsea Grease's face at Asuka, then burying her? Yeah, unless there's a reason for it. Like often when they do these things, there is a reason behind it. So I'm going to keep the faith a little bit with that and see where they're going, because I think the gimmick is even the heel announcers don't like her because she's a Karen. I think it's the idea of everybody doesn't like a Karen. So we'll see.
Sure I understand.
That's my Apple Watch interrupting me every time I flick and talk, so I'm going to take it off because it's annoying as hell. Go away. There we go. Got to feel naked without that watch. I'm on the phone to Dom sometimes, and it just completely interrupts me. It's like, shut up. And Dom thinks I'm then telling him to shut up when I shout, shut up. So their origin story says, hello, Sam. Hello, back to you. Todd, that's very kind. I think I'll be all right. I think my plan tomorrow is to just rest and see where we go. SmackDown has begun, and we're getting a bit of a recap of Roman berating his cousins, telling him to look for Jay. Sassy's telling me what her dinner is tonight. Let's see what we got. Spinach and mushroom lasagna for dinner with cheesy garlic bread. Well, Sassy, I'm not a massive fan of spinach, so that I might not be that into, I'm afraid. That's the one time, Sassy, your dinner's not over with me. Oh, we got Taylor's in. Text me earlier saying, are you on tonight? I certainly am. Bloodsport is back in March. Please stream. Between you and me, Sassy, I've been looking, because obviously, you know, me and the guys are at Mania. I've been looking at the other events we can go to. Perhaps that isn't just WWE. Oh, there it is. There it is. I've had so much caffeine, but I'm still yawning. What am I going to do? And Bloodsport was one of them that I also thought Joey Janela's spring break might be a fun one to go to. Let's say we come out of a WWE show and we're all a bit leery. We've had a few beers. I thought, you know, that might be good to do. But it's not going to happen because it coincides with too much stuff that we're already doing. So that's that. The only, I think, some of us are considering doing NXT as well. And now I've noticed Impact are live on the Thursday night. And we'll probably just be sat in the hotel bar that night. So who knows? We haven't agreed to anything, but I'm very tempted to go and see Impact's Multiverse United show with New Japan. But it's up to see if the other boys want to do it as well. So that was you, was it, Taylor? That the origin story. Interesting. That's got to be something comic book related. Am I right? I imagine. Ooh, starting a new venture. Teasing us with that. Still getting a recap on SmackDown of Sami Zayn's heroics last week. Mark says, only thing I felt his first match was a bit weird. I'm laughing at her facing Asuka. Like, I think, yeah, they're definitely putting over Asuka as a killer, aren't they? She might be down to face Bianca Belair at Mania. I'd like that, but yeah, I don't understand why they bring Chelsea back though if they're gonna do that, especially how hot she's been on the Indies and how hot her husband has been on the Indies as well. And they kind of want them both back, and they want a piece of that Cardona pie. So they'd be stupid just to totally bury it. And it's Triple H isn't vindictive in like Vince McMahon is, just doesn't bury people just for the fun of it or because he's annoyed with them for leaving or something. So I like to think with Triple H there's a plan, and that Chelsea's probably in on said plan. When it comes to Triple H, I like to keep the faith because he doesn't usually let me down. He certainly makes missteps, but he doesn't ever, certainly not these days, ever seem to be malevolent. He's Uncle Paul, isn't he? You know? And I've got to believe that because God, the alternative. There it is. There it is. Oh, I'm not right. Taylor says, I'm not right. I'm thinking it's a comic book thing. Are you going to share with us something? Because you've teased us. You've tickled my chin with it. You're going to tell me what it is. Sassy yesterday had dinner, chicken and dumpling. Now that I can get behind. That sounds amazing. It might be a way to get Cardona, to be honest. Well, yeah, they are good when they're a package deal. They are good together, like in NWA. There needs to be a plan because if I'm yeah, I get you. I think there is. Let's see what happens, because if she was just to get released in 5 minutes' time, the only thing WWE have achieved is frittered away a load of money, which is pointless. So I couldn't see that being the case. I could absolutely see it being the case if Vince was still in charge of talent and creative, but he's not. Like we know, even though he's back running the big picture stuff, they're not letting him anywhere near that. So that's good to know. Yeah, Sassy, I did hear about the Comcast, who are the parent company of NBC, out of the running. They've ruled themselves out of the running. And Nick Khan then was like, well, I'm very bullish. Like that would change something. But we'll see. Because just because they've said that doesn't mean it's true. These big companies lie all the time when it comes to these deals. Oh, and Heyman is cutting a promo, folks. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Let me know if you can hear it too loud on my screen, and I'll turn it down again because I don't want YouTube or WWE to get mad at us. There we go. You were right, Mark. Heyman's up. So I'm basically expanding an influenced idea. I ran personally to develop a bit more. Take my personal spin. Okay, well, you support us here. We can support you there. So let's see where we go. They should absolutely storyline release Chelsea Green. Yeah, that actually might be funny. So Heyman is quite possibly one of the greatest orators WWE's ever known. Dustin has to be at Mania, even if he's not on camera. You'd think so, wouldn't you? He's family and he's worked there for a very long time. So I can't imagine Triple H having a problem with that. Especially like Ricky Starks was backstage the other day as well, wasn't he? And let's be honest, a lot of these guys in AEW, WWE are quite chummy with each other, aren't they? So, for example, Liv and MJF, as we discovered this week. Well, the word on the street is he only said that to create a little bit of a buzz online for her. He was just trying to name drop someone called Liv because they're friends, and he just wanted to try and give her a bit of a rub, as opposed to anything going on between them or that story being true at all. You see me scratching my nose on camera. Oh well, what we're gonna do? Sassy saying, cigar and wine for SmackDown. Love that, Sassy. See, I'm partial. I'm not a smoker. I've never finished a cigarette in my life. I had one on the bus at 14 on my way to school and thought, ugh, never again. But I am partial to a nice cigar on a special occasion. Like my wedding day, I had one. I think I have like one a year, but if I have one, it's got to be a good one. It's got to be an expensive one. It's got to be something good. Went to Amsterdam, smoked a couple of other things there. May do a little bit more of that when it's legalized in the UK, which is likely to be at some point. If they've legalized it most of the United States, I imagine we'll follow suit soon as well. But we won't talk about that. Charlotte goes to AEW. Can't see it, Taylor. Maybe one day when she's got nothing else to do. Todd's not feeling that idea. Mox has been invited to attend shows, so it's declined. Yeah, kind of makes sense, to be fair. Yes, I suppose, but Andrade's not been there a while, has he? Since he had made a bit of a fool out of himself. I don't know about you guys. I'm getting a little bit sick of stories about people bumping heads backstage at AEW now. I'm getting a little bit sick of that. I'm like, let's have some professionalism. Like, Jesus, can some of you not handle your business with words and brains? Can you not articulate your point? I get you're all athletes and you're all hot-headed, but I mean, nobody in WWE dares do that in front of Vince or Triple H. It's just that they've got to sort that out because it's ruined AEW for me in the past year Sami Zayn is behind Heyman. And I want to love AEW, and my love has been tarnished for it for nearly a year now. I try and stay as impartial as I can when I'm writing stuff, but when I'm on here, I can talk openly like a fan, which is nice. And are we going to get a verbal jousting between Sami and Paul? Like they're treating us. We got Sami and we've got Paul and Cody this week. It's like WCW all over again. Oh God. Waiting for contracts to run out in WWE, then to WWE. Who do we mean specifically? Oh, is that with Andrade? Yeah, maybe. A lot of people flocked to AW, didn't they? Thinking the grass would be greener on the other side. And for some of them, it wasn't. For some of them, it was. I'm of the view that a lot, maybe not all of them, of the major stars owe it to themselves to see where they fit best. Some of them we already know, don't we? Like Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, people like that. I can't really imagine them anywhere else but WWE now. But there's a lot of people could do really, really well in AEW system. Then there's a lot I'd like to see in WWE one day. I would like to see Kenny Omega in WWE one day. I think he might benefit from that, the structure that might give him. Like the creative control, a lot of them get in AEW is great, but some of them are better wrestlers than they are creatives. That's for sure. You know, people sometimes need to be managed. The WWE system doesn't work well for everybody. We know that's for sure, but it does work well for some. You know. Yeah, Andrade won't sit at home for 3 to 4 years. Yeah, they've really got to, because we criticised WWE, didn't we, when they were holding Neville hostage, Pac, and eventually they released him and he went to AEW. But if AEW are now doing the exact same thing to the people who want to leave them, it's like, well, we have to criticise everybody equally, don't we? Taylor's saying, I want Malachi and Buddy back in WWE. Well, I would do, but I want the House of Black to succeed in AEW. I want that because we've got enough dark, spooky characters now in WWE. We've got Bray, we've got Karrion, we've got Dexter Lumis. I want all three of them to be killers. You know, I think Black's got so much more to do. Yes, he's got a lot more to do in WWE, but I think he's got a lot more to do in AEW first. I want him to become a massive draw in AEW. Then I'll happily see him back in WWE. Todd saying, no, the House of Black is AEW and they will rise. Exactly. I really hope that's the case. Tony has to buy out their contracts. He has people to replace them. Yeah, true. Like Jericho said, if you don't want to wrestle, go somewhere else. Yeah, I agree. I think if someone isn't happy, if you're not going to come to terms, there's no point in holding them hostage. Just let them go. Let them go. You know, because at that point, it's just a drain on you and everybody else. If you're not happy somewhere, you shouldn't have to be somewhere. There's contracts, but there's got to be a way out of these things. Karrion deserves to be released. He's boring. Do you know what, Taylor? Matt? I think they booked him poorly. They need to just start booking him as a killer. They need to let him batter somebody and stop jobbing him out. Do you remember when he came to the ring and he put the hourglass in front of Roman Reigns and went TikTok? I was really excited by that. I thought, wow, this is cool. Let's see Roman go up against another heel. Let's see that happen. Let's see him cheat to win against another heel. Awesome. And then they just forgot about it. So we're in Mania season now, and Roman's got challenges coming at his ears. But I think it'd be nice to see how they transition that. Yeah, the trick is with Karrion Kross is to book him right. Book him as a killer and remember what he is. Or send him back to NXT and have him dominate there. Then bring him back up when you're ready for him. Paul's getting a lot of hugs this week. And menacing whispers in his ears from people like Sami and Cody. I wonder if they're going to form some kind of alliance in the run-up to Mania. That'd be interesting. Yeah, I think Sami's got a touch of the Kofi Mania now, isn't it? It's Sami Mania. Exactly, Sassy. That's the issue, isn't it? I've not done any votes yet because we have no idea what's happening with matches. So, yeah, I completely agree, to be honest. Yeah. I have that effect on people, Taylor. Here we go. I don't know if this is next, but Usos versus Braun and Ricochet. This should be a good match, though. All four of them are talented dudes in their own way. Oh, here we go. The Banger Boys. Banger after banger after banger. Who's that? Ad break. Boo. This is the thing, we're watching TV live from America. So many ads. Like, we have plenty as well in network TV and stuff, but not as many as you guys. I remember, like, years ago, I was in Florida with my family and we were watching an episode of Lost back when that was a thing. Like, so a long time ago. And it was like 6 sets of commercials in 1 hour episode. And I was like, Jesus. Like, over here, it'd be about 3. It wouldn't be that bad. But even that, I don't watch ads anymore because of, like, Sky and recorded TV and streaming services. It's just fast forward, isn't it? Everything. I fast forward half of WWE Raw sometimes. You know, when it's just the filler and the rubbish. The Cody promo was better. Yeah, but it was a different kind of thing, wasn't it, I think? And it had more time to breathe. And there was the whole Dusty Rhodes connection and all of that. And that was a true story that they said as well, which is interesting. We all remember Dusty's time in EC Dub. Taylor said, I watched a random, seems like 2K video saying we should split the bloodline into the Sons of Samoa. Oh, yeah. SOS already is a Samoan stable, though, isn't it? Owned by Ring of Honor. It's Khan and the other guy. I think they're in there with Brian Cage. They're called something else, Gates of Agony, though, now, so they could get away with that. The question is the trademark still owned by Tony Khan? Because they're getting near that. Lost was good before the plane crash. Oh, behave. I talked about Lost on air the other night, actually, with Dom. I compared Bray Wyatt's storyline to Lost in the fact that it's captivating. You always can't wait to see what happens next, but it never satisfies. That's it, Taylor. Damage control of the tag team champs. Yeah. I think they might be losing him at Mania. Don't know who to. Interesting. I'm curious how WWE replaces Roman on the cards. I think even when he loses the belt, if he even does lose the belt at Mania, he's still going to be a big part of the show. But I think he probably wants a bit of time off, doesn't he? He's been pushing for that for a while. So give the guy a bit. Let's not forget the guy beat cancer again a couple of years ago. So he's probably due a bit of a rest. But this has been the run of his career. He's just been fantastic. Now the Embassy. The Gates of Agony are the tag team. The Embassy's the stable. Yeah. I've actually got it, Taylor. I've got it here. I'm just not being that bothered about it. Hassan, I'm gonna do you a vote, mate. I'm gonna do you a vote. I'm just gonna go onto YouTube and do that for you, pal. I should really have it up and ready, but that's what she said. Here we go. This is the bit where my own voice interrupts me. YouTube ads. It is time for Hassan's vote. I'll do the banner actually as well. Oh, I don't mind the ring bell, Taylor. That's all right. I don't think they're going to tell us off for that. It's loud and everything else anyway, isn't it? So it is Hit Row, resisting the urge to call him Skid Row. I know are they going with Banger Bros? I'm going to go with it. Yeah, Sassy, it's it's easy enough. Honestly, if I can do it, you can do it. Like I was famously, I imagine there's stuff I've forgotten tonight already, and there'll be other mistakes I make tonight. But yeah, I imagine it's dead easy doing a vote. It's just like on the YouTube comments, you just click vote, blah blah, done. Dead easy. Shall we do the banner as well? Just in case Dom is in bed in Iceland, looks across and goes, that little kid hasn't done the banner. And I'm so sorry for constantly clearing my throat. Again, I'm not a well man. Try my best. Okay. I want Hit Row to succeed as well, you know. I've got an idea about Hit Row. Bring out B-Fab and just let her cut some nasty heelish promos every week. Let's hear her talk on the mic. Let's do it that way. Let's not have any physicality. Let's just hear her talk to the point where we want to see her boys get battered, but then have them batter somebody else. It's not hard. They can get them over as heels. They've just got to do it right. At the moment, they might as well be jobbers because they're not doing anything. Hit Row versus Banger Bros. I'm calling them that. I'm doing the ticker tonight as well because I kind of like it. Because you already know to like and subscribe, don't you? Because you've used YouTube before. Hit Row. I can't get over the top rope dollar. Flop dollar, they've been calling him, haven't they? I get Hunter's running the show, but why is he live tweeting as SmackDown's on? A little weird. Marketing, my friend. Marketing. Nothing wrong with Easy Sam. Easy Sam, you don't want to call me that. That was me before I was married. Hit Row needs to be in NXT. Yeah, do you know what? That's a good point. They could benefit from that, couldn't they? It could work quite nicely. Why did Pat McAfee return? I think for a treat. He won't be done. We'll see him again. I bet he's back at Elimination Chamber or Mania. I think he's just kind of cracking on, isn't he? Move Gallus up. I'm still not on board with Gallus. I think they're talented. They just don't thrill me. I just find them both a bit, all three of them a bit dull. I don't know. It's not their fault. Hang on. There we go. I didn't want to deafen you all with that throat clear. Yeah, tell Roman he doesn't need to worry about Cody because I'm going to be the one to take him down. Oh, I don't think you are, Sammy. Yeah, it seems destined to happen, doesn't it, that Sassy? It seems destined to happen. They were friendly, though, weren't they, at one point? So they'd have to, I know one's a heel and one's a babyface team, but they're still going to have to create some heat there. Because just because you turn heel doesn't mean you should abandon all your friends and stuff. Like, I feel like they need to be better with that. Look at Sheamus. When Sheamus was a heel, him and Drew were still friends, even though Drew was a face, until they then weren't again, and they had that falling out. And even that was just based on wanting to be the best fighter. So that made sense. That was normal. And now Sheamus is a babyface since Clash at the Castle. Oh, speaking of which, something to show you all. Got the Clash of the Castle t-shirt on tonight. We accidentally queue jumped to get that. We didn't actually know we had done it until we had done it. We kind of joined what we thought was the queue, waited, got over, bought the t-shirt, went away, then realised we had actually pushed in. We were just in a queue of people pushing in rather than the actual queue. And we felt a bit bad. But oh well. Imperium versus Gallus. Have we not seen that before? Did we see that in NXT UK? Yeah, because Gallus were calling him, he was Volta then, and they were calling him Jolly Wally, weren't they? So we did see that in NXT UK, but they could always dig it up on the main roster at some point. The thing is, though, like, the European teams tend to be booked as foreign heels. That's what they're going to do with Gallus. It's what they're doing with Imperium. So, you know, it's just the WWE way, isn't it, really? If you're foreign, you're a heel. If I were there, I'd be a heel. Considering me and the guy on commentary are from the same town, I think I'd definitely be a heel. I'm talking about Wade Barrett, by the way, who's also from my neck of the woods, along with William Regal, although they sound very different, don't they? The town I'm talking about is Blackpool, by the way, which is about 20 minutes away from me. My nearest city, though, is Preston, which I imagine nobody in the United States will have heard of unless you've already, you know, unless there's some reason that you have, because it's not an important or big city particularly. Compared to like Manchester, London, and York and places like that. Oh. Jimmy trying to get hold of his brother, is it? WWE confirmed SmackDown show will be in London's O2 as well. Yeah, and do you know what that means, Mark? That means I'm booking 2 nights at a hotel. Yeah, double my money. Oh, well. We'll probably, Dom and I will be there representing WrestleSphere, I imagine. So we're going to be pushing for press passes for that. And the good news is we've been in touch with WWE already. We'll see how that goes. They need to go back to the War Raiders. Yeah, they have. But I think the thing is, though, now the damage is done. That if they'd gone back to War Raiders sooner, yeah, great. But it's too long now. There will be casuals. We'll just know them as the Viking Raiders. And they cosplay as characters from History Channel's Vikings every week. So I think that is ingrained now. They'd need a total gimmick change unless they were to do that. And if they left WWE and went to AEW, they could go back to being War Machine, which is who they were in New Japan and Ring of Honor. Yeah, Gunther, as they're calling him now. Thank God they didn't call him Gunther Stark like they wanted to do. Jesus, what were they thinking? But yeah, like he's so good. I don't think they're going to do him versus Brock at Mania, which is a shame. But if they do some jiggery pokery at Elimination Chamber and we get the proper Lashley Brock match at Mania, I'd like that because I've wanted Lashley and Brock at Mania for a long time. So, and it doesn't need to be about a title either. It just needs to be a good story. And it's reminding me a little bit of the Goldberg versus Brock story, this, from 2016. Was it 2016 or 2017? Where Brock got the Universal title off Goldberg. Goldberg gets a lot of hate, but that was a great feud, and Goldberg looked brilliant in it. It's just a shame after that things went a little bit off the rails because they overbooked him and put him in spots he shouldn't have been in. But that was great. Viking Raiders, I know, is their lifestyle. Is it, though? Or are they just... Like, I know they say it is and they make out it is, but is it like... Are they leaning into that? Yes, I get they're both enthusiasts. And they both go to these events and dress up and do all that in their personal lives. I know they do that. We have a Viking festival near us every year, actually, in Hisham. Which is quite well known, and that people dress up as Vikings and do all that there. It's pretty awesome. But I still reckon they live like most of us, the rest of us. I really do. I think they're enthusiasts rather than anything else. I'm fairly sure they rent a car and go to WWE shows like everybody else, and sleep in hotels rather than traveling in longboats or and sleeping under the stars. Just a feeling. 2016. Thank you, Mark. That was the one. The ultimate thrill ride, they called it. It was a good Mania, that, actually. I really liked that Mania. That was the one where Taker retired, wasn't it? That was great. And Raw the next night. Roman just coming out and milking it. Milked it and milked it and milked it. And then it was just... This is my yard now. Oh, there we go. Karrion. Black and white. The hourglass. This is what we want to see. He looked scary without any hair, didn't he? Now he just looks like an angry guy who works in finance. Here's Lacey, the woman of many reboots. Lacey's like a walking DCEU. Does he have a new tattoo on his shoulder? I'm not sure, actually, mate. I didn't see. I know he's got that impressive Hearn the Hunter on his back. If you don't know who Hearn the Hunter is, Google him, because he's a very famous ghost, I think, from Winchester, they say. But he's based on ancient Celtic legends of the Wild Hunt and things like that. So Karrion Kross clearly knows his European mythology. Wasn't Riddle meant to be back by now? I think they're saving him for a pay-per-view. I think. And who's Carmen Harris? Never heard of her before, but I think she's about to get battered. Why is Evans still here? It's a good question, Todd. She has potential. I wasn't very happy with something she said on Twitter, but I have to get over that at some point. She does have potential, but she had all the potential when she was in the Mae Young Classic, and she had that military mum gimmick. That was really, really good as a baby face. It's just a shame they've kind of messed her up since then, really. Yes, I see. That's where, Kross was really, really good, although I hated his outfit. It was like some kind of reject from the Matrix. My favourite Kross was NXT entrance with Scarlett before he was at the main roster. I just that was just amazing. Every time he came out, it was just, wow, look at this. And the matches were good too. See, I don't get all the hate for Theory. I think Theory's amazing. I think he's incredible. I can't ever see him being a face. Not properly. Because he was never properly a face, even in the way, was he? He was just this confused kid who had been kidnapped by Dexter Lumis. I prefer Carmen Harris over Lacey Evans. I think a lot of us would, mate. But I'm fairly sure, because I've never seen Carmen Harris before. I think this is a jobber and a squash match. Ah, yes, Hassan. You are right, mate. Let's change the banner and the vote. Although by the time I've done the bloody vote, Hassan, come on, you really want to vote for this? Do you know what? I'm not doing a vote for this one. I'm not doing it, because by the time I've done the vote, this match will be over. So I'm not doing a vote for a squash match with Carmen Harris, because this match is going to be over in about 30 seconds. Ten, 11, 12 seconds. There we go. Yeah. New rule. If I'm running the show, we don't do votes for squashes if there's a jobber. Theories, a lot of accusations that weren't cleared up. Well, I heard they were cleared up because I did a little bit of investigation into this as part of my job, my previous job before Dexerto, and there was one allegation that I was aware of, which, when it was investigated, turned out not to be the case. From what I know about it, is he was friendly to somebody who was underage. That person got the wrong end of the stick, but at no point in those messages did he ever do anything or say anything inappropriate. It was, I don't want to say it was somebody just trying to cause trouble, but there was no evidence against him that made him look dodgy in any way, which is why he was able to return to TV. The same thing with Jordan Devlin, people like that. Accusations were made, they were investigated, and there was found to be no wrongdoing on their part. Same with Riddle. Like, yes, okay, there was wrongdoing on his part in terms of, morally, but not criminally, which is why Riddle is, still on the roster. But then again, you've got other people who have completely disappeared from wrestling, like Jimmy Havoc, or you've got people like Gentleman Jack Gallagher, who all these people did wrong and admitted it, and we've never seen them again. Marty Scurll, a lot of people went after him for something he did, but he, again, in the UK, in the UK, the age of consent is 16. So when the American audience were getting mad at him, it was a case of, well, yeah, where you are, that might be illegal, but it isn't where he was. So it's a weird one. You've got it's still a bit shady, but you've got to judge people based on the countries that they're from. I won't be a hypocrite. When I was that age, I was doing that. So with other people that age. So anyway, I can't believe we're talking about this on the stream. Enough of that. But yeah, they've been asked. I think everybody who did wrong paid the price for it, and I think everybody who didn't is still employed, and I think that's probably the right thing. Is that true about Jimmy Havoc and being a DPD driver? Is that true? I'd love to know if that's true or not. Not that there's anything wrong with being a DPD driver, but it's quite a career change. Let's go up to some of these comments now. We've got an ad break. We spent way too long talking about that, didn't we? I think she just needs to go back to the Indies. Fair enough. Theory is such a jerk. He's a good wrestler and he's a good heel. Like, should he? If he's a jerk, he's probably not a jerk in real life. He's just a natural heel, and natural heels are some of the best wrestlers we've ever had. Taylor sent me a photo to my phone. I'm looking forward to seeing what that is. Theory is Miz 2.0. I'm going to disagree, and I think Miz gets a lot of hate. I think Miz has very much earned his place in WWE by now, but I think Theory is much more of a natural wrestler than Miz is. Miz has had to work to get to that standard where I think Theory. I think Theory's a bit of a prodigy. I really do. Yes, squash matches do not get polls in live streams. Thank you, Sassy. Yeah, got to do that. They're trying to make Theory the MJF or an early Jericho character. Do you know what, Sassy? I actually think that's something I'd do if I was booking it. Like, Theory is money and MJF is money. So WWE and AEW are going to copy each other when something does well. And as long as they do it without being too obvious, it's a good strategy. It's not new either. WCW and WWF did it. TNA and WWE have done it so many times. Just is what it is. Wow, Taylor. Is that what you've sent me, Taylor? I'll have a look, actually. Let's get my phone and have a look. Balor Club there for the win. Blimey. That's it. That's what it was. No, it's all right. It's important to talk about, isn't it? It's but yeah, I think there's a couple of things we've got to clear up there because I've seen a lot of that stuff online, and it's what matters in these things is that victims are listened to, and the other thing that matters is evidence. You know, opinions don't matter, facts do. That's often what I think when it comes to things like that. Taylor slid into my DMs, and not for the first time. Another vote, please, Hassan. Hassan, you are game as a badger tonight, aren't you? We'll wait till the match is live and then we'll do it. Yeah, Sassy makes a good point. I mean, it's like these things are hanging over wrestling like a bad smell at the moment, aren't they? And until Vince goes away, it's WWE is going to be associated with it, isn't it? I'm not saying that in a bad way. I mean, like he's just like Miz, but better. Yeah, like Miz. I saw Miz in the ring a few weeks ago doing something, and I remember thinking this guy's really good. He didn't used to be, but he's worked really hard to earn his place there, and he's gone from having zero respect there to having quite a lot of respect there. And that I think that says it all. I think so. He's got my respect as well, Miz, just for that. And let's be honest, when he comes out in a suit and he had the IC title, you know, and he came walking down, cutting promos when he was feuding with Moxley, I remember thinking, yeah, this guy is good at what he does. You know, I've always had a time for the Miz for a few years. Didn't many years ago. Hey, there's an idea. Yeah, they could do what they did with Gigi Dolan on the Indies. She was called Priscilla Kelly then, and she was Austin Theory's manager. That pushed Todd over the edge. We can't have that. I'll slide into your Slack DMs next. You did. I think you did that last week, didn't you? That's work related anyway. It's all good. I've got an itchy nose. I'm not doing anything gross. I've just got an itchy nose. Something that should, yeah. Still think Miz should beat Jericho's record, though. Yeah, I do. I want Cena to break, or Randy Orton to break Ric Flair's as well, you know. Part of me wants Roman Reigns to break Bruno Sammartino's record, but is that even possible in this day and age, you know? Here's Karen and Cruella. Yeah, she's all over the show. Oh, here we go. Now, Hassan. Now you can have a vote. Let's do it. In fact, let's just see how that last one went. Banger Bros got 71%. I'm not surprised. So now, start a poll. Ricochet and Braun Strowman, spelled phonetically. Wins. Ricochet. Versus Usos. There we are. We need Todd versus Todd. Back this out twice. One for the banner, one for the poll. There we go. We have a banner and we have a vote for Sam. Oh, we've got 2 Todds. Check it out. If it's your birthday, Todd, happy birthday. Oh, yeah, I'm still not perfect. I think I'm going to have a bit of a lie-in tomorrow and shake this virus or whatever the hell it is. It's lingering on me for a week now. It's driving me insane. I get no sympathy from my wife either, none at all. She just like rolls her eyes, huffs and puffs, and is like, oh, will you shut up? Oh. Oh. Ah, Jay is here. Like, he's here to defend the belts and he's here for his brother. That's cool. But that doesn't mean he's on board with the bloodline. Yeah, exactly, Taylor. Exactly. It means he was always going to turn up and defend his belts and support his brother, but is he with Roman? Is he supporting Roman? That's the question. I'm not so sure he is. Like, let's be honest, he slows Roman a smack around the mouth for gaslighting him. Oh, that wasn't deliberate. This will be good, this, I think. I think Braun and Ricochet work kind of well. I didn't think they would, but they do. Real reason JBL dumped Corbin is because Hunter hated the gimmick. Oh, really? It wasn't good, was it? I just don't like JBL, full stop. I just think he's a bit of a sausage. Corbin in the doghouse for underperforming. See, Corbin's someone who's got a place in this business. He can be good. They need to just make him a killer again. Give him the lone wolf gimmick, but make him look cool rather than give him the scraggly hair. You know, give him that persona. Do you remember when he eliminated Braun Strowman at the Royal Rumble and he was like, rah! He was like, yeah, this guy's terrifying. Then he became a joke because Vince McMahon got proper into him and made him all silly. Yeah, Jay comes out like the Shield did. Yeah, that's interesting. What's going to happen after the match, though? I don't think all the trouble in paradise is going to be resolved. I think it's the perfect length. The bloodline timeline needs to end soon. I don't know if it's ending. I think it's evolving. You know what I mean? I think they're going to shift it up in some way. But they do need... Jey Uso does need to feud with Roman again. He doesn't need to win the title, but he needs to get a modicum of respect back. Let's not forget how that went down, you know. Yeah, Corbin needs to be the lone wolf again. I agree. It was a good gimmick. Lone Wolf was good. He had matches with Roman. He did. And do you remember when he had a match with The Miz at Survivor Series, and it was a heel versus heel match, but because he was such a badass, Miz looked like the good guy in that match. Like, Miz tried cheating with knuckle dusters and all sorts, but Corbin just outfought him because he was bigger and stronger and scarier, and it was a good angle. Corbin looked like a monster. I think that was the match as well where he accidentally made a child cry and kind of gave her a hug in the crowd to say it's okay, and Vince went mad at him for breaking kayfabe. But I think that was that. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I think the things you do for your brother get complex at times. I've got 3 of them, so I know that very well, Todd. That's very true. Corbin will fit in the Judgment Day. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think there's too much silliness behind him for that to work. I like the idea of lone wolf, just him on his own, just picking the bones of people and squashing guys, and I don't want to see him in squash matches. I want to see him just beat up the mid card, and maybe at one point hold one of the mid card titles. Let's stick him in a match with Gunther in a competitive match, where he's not a comedy heel, but an actual competitor who takes Gunther far, loses, but gets himself over. Let's maybe what they did with Sheamus at Clash at the Castle, but without the face turn. Let's just make a warrior out of this guy. Pop for Jay was louder than Sami's. This is what I mean. People want to see the bloodline turn on Roman. Yeah, I think if they're going to do Lone Wolf, they have to keep him alone, not put him in a stable. Because they've had Corbin in a stable before. He was in the Dogs of War, wasn't he, with Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre, and Dolph Ziggler. So yeah, let's just make him be a killer, but on his own. No tag team partners, no nothing. Let's have him a guy who just does not play well with others at all. Make him angry that everything's gone wrong. So he's just here to hurt people. Heels, faces, he attacks everyone. Then maybe put him in a feud with someone like Dexter Lumis. And just have them batter each other. No more comedy. Just killer versus killer. Corbin versus Kross could work. The only issue is one of them would have to turn face, and I don't think either of them should. I think both of them should stay heels, therefore stay away from each other. If they insist on having Dexter Lumis as a babyface, they could do that. No comedy, though. They'd have to play it straight. True. They destroyed the Shield. They did. That they feuded with the Shield, that stable. McIntyre was a heel during that angle. I think McIntyre's a lot better as a face because he's I don't know. It's a British guy. I appreciate how loose he is on the mic. He says things that I get, but I know an American audience might not. Sometimes just terms like mannerisms, things that I might say. So I feel like, even though he's from Scotland and I'm from England, I feel like he's representing the northern part of our island a certain way. That's what I like. That's why I like him so much. It can take the heel versus heel can work quite nicely, but it generally works at pay-per-views. I think if they book it as a feud, then inevitably one becomes the babyface just by default. So, AEW do it a lot, and it just doesn't work. Like AEW sometimes try to transcend the heel and face dynamic, and they don't ever make it work. I don't think. It was cool when the House of Black just attacked everybody, heel and face. That's the sort of thing when it's cool. But when you have like a one-on-one feud, somebody becomes grows into the role, becomes the fan favorite. One gets booed, one gets cheered. It's just the way it goes, because one is chosen by the crowd and somebody isn't. I guess so. Sam, stop turning me. Told you I'm persuasive. Oh, what super kick. I keep thinking my nose is bleeding, but it's not. How about Corby versus Riddle or Seth? Yeah, that'd be cool. I like the idea, though, of him just attacking JBL. Doing an end of days on him and silencing JBL. Because I don't think we've ever seen that while JBL's been like a commentator or a backstage personality. So if someone came along and just killed JBL, not literally, but you know what I mean, that could make them look like they could almost absorb all his heat, and he has a lot of heat. They could just absorb that. Although, would that turn them face? Liv and Raquel tonight will face Chelsea, Karen Green, and Sonya Deville. I'm game. Just get JBL off my TV. I agree with you, mate. I'm still not over him torturing Mauro Ranallo and not seeing a problem with it. I mean, like, I don't like bullies, and he strikes me as somebody who bullies others and thinks, well, it's just banter. No, it's not, mate. It's not. You're a dick. You know, JBL. So, no, I've got no time for JBL. I don't like seeing him on my TV. And if he's ever on a pre-show, I fast forward it. Hello, Pete Chuck, who's saying, I want Roman to lose his belt. You might get your wish at WrestleMania. JBL is off TV now. The breakup's happened. I hope so. Yeah, JBL bullied a lot of people, allegedly. But there's a lot of evidence to suggest he's not the nicest person in the world. And when he did his Hall of Fame acceptance and he was like, yeah, you woke snowflakes. Yeah. I'm just thinking, wow, you really don't get it, do you, mate? What would it take for you to understand? What would it take for you to get it? Would somebody have to do something silly? You know, I think he just sees that as weakness, doesn't he? And it's just, that's what's wrong with people like him. Now, I've got no time for JBL. No time at all. But I will give him props for being a good heel, as he is. Because he's naturally detestable. Although I must say, at the 30th anniversary Raw, when he went up to Alundra Blaze and pointed at her title and went, didn't you throw that in the trash? I know he didn't write that. I know that was something Triple H probably put in there, but that popped me a little bit. It's fun. I like it when WWE embraces its WCW heritage, just like its WWE heritage. I think that's quite cool. Same with ECW. I like it when it acknowledges, because let's be like, WWE is WWF, WCW, and ECW all rolled into one. It's nice when we're reminded of that, because we don't just have fond memories of WWF and WWE. We have those memories for WCW and ECW as well. So it's cool. If anyone's interested in the AEW games officially been rated T for teen, yeah, I imagine that might be something I might need to write about on Monday morning, Mark. Unless one of the crew beats me to it over the weekend, which they may well do. Mark, thanks for the info, yeah. Again, I'm one of Deserto's resident wrestling fans, but there's quite a few of us, so I don't know who. I actually don't know who's reviewing that game. Cool to find out. And I'm sorry I keep clearing my throat, guys. It must be so bloody annoying. But we thought it's either that or nobody does the stream. So Dan Hargreaves is having a rest tonight. I love how Daniel Wiley came in, asked where Dan Hargreaves and Dom are, found out they're not here, and it was just me and left. We know who his favourites are, don't we? Well, the hosts can have favourites too, Daniel. Not mentioning any names. Taylor. Do you like that? He's going to be happy now. He's definitely going to slide into our DMs now, isn't he? Mainly the blood able to stay in the mat, which is in the team. Is that what it is? Oh, pathetic. Yes, I see. I've said so many times, I love the idea of Fatu coming in and maybe being a heel and kind of like going after Roman and being like, hang on, you called yourself the tribal chief. I never agreed to that, Oos. I never agreed to bow scrape to you. You were never the head of my table. If I'd been here when that was going on, I would have been the head of the table. I love the idea of a bigger, scarier Samoan getting in Roman's face and going, oh, here he is, the tribal chief. They might need to turn Roman face for that, though. But I think that'd be fun. He's having a go. Don't have a go at Sassy. Sassy's a moderator, so she transcends being a member of the audience. It just goes without saying. Yes, Mark. Jerry Lawler sent home, doing patient rehab. Yeah, we all had a bit of a scare, didn't we? And during a period of time where we could do without any more tragedy in the wrestling community. So it's a good job he's still with us, and hopefully everything's going to be all right. Fatu was in my top 10. Amazing wrestler with presence. Yeah, he's dead good. Like everybody on all spectrums of wrestling, the Jim Cornettes, the Meltzers, they all like him. So, and he's just a big burly git. He's so good, and he can cut a promo. He can go in the ring. But I think him and Hammerstone have unfinished business in MLW, don't they? So I'd like to see that play out before anything happens. But you've got to imagine that both of those men have got a bright future in one of the bigger promotions. But MLW is doing all right. I think MLW and NWA are part of my weekly wrestling menu, along with obviously the Big Four and anything New Japan might be doing. The Big Four being anything WWE, Ring of Honor, AEW, or Impact do. Ditch the red Strowman, please. Yeah, it's a bit oozy, isn't it? Ricochet's amazing, but I think the Usos do better super kicks. Face off between Cody and Heyman on Raw was wrote by Cody and Heyman. Yeah, doesn't surprise me that. I think that is the promo that Cody kind of wanted to do in AEW, but apart from MJF, who was there to give it that level of vitriol, the emotion, because all that was real, apart from the end where they kind of started working. That a lot of that was shoot and work. But I think that was the promo he wanted to do. But you can only really do that with Heyman. I don't think anybody talks like Heyman, you know. Hammerstone more suited to AEW. Another is Mike Bailey to WWE. Yeah, you've got to imagine where's Bailey going to go. Yeah, I think WWE would be a better fit for him because I don't think AEW needs any more small athletic guys. I think AEW needs to start bringing in the Hammerstones and all the Fatus if they can. Needs to start bringing in the big burly guys and, you know, try and turn Brian Cage and Hobbs and Wardlow into their Brock Lesnar's and Roman Reigns and stuff. I like that AEW is leaning into the big scary guys a bit more. That's what I want to see him do. Still love the flippy guys, still love them, but I do want to see some big meaty meats slapping meat at some point. Read into that what you will. There's a WrestleMania sign, which I'm going to point at. And you all know why. And the Usos retain. Did the lights just go out then? Well, no, they didn't. It was just the way it... Did anybody else see that? I thought we were getting some Bray Wyatt action, which we haven't had for a while. I wonder if they're rethinking a couple of things with Bray. I don't know. I watched Blampier's video actually on Wrestle Talk about how he would book the Uncle Howdy stuff. It was really good, really thought provoking. And as usual with that guy, he kind of booked it in a way better than WWE did. Cool finish, but could have been better. Yeah, it was a bit run of the mill, wasn't it? The crowd lights did go out. Yeah, something happened there. But was it just one of the spotlights turned around? Well, we had that conversation, didn't we, after the thingy match? So my opinion actually hasn't changed on Bray Wyatt, Todd. But that doesn't mean they might not be. They might have read the reception to the match and are thinking, right, maybe we should do something differently, and they've kept off the. Kept him off TV for a week or two. I don't know. I'm still keeping the faith because I think this is going. We'll see what happens at Mania, and we'll take it that way. I'm still into it. I'm still entertained by it, but it's a bit weird that he hasn't been on TV for a week or so. I don't get why that is, So, one theory is maybe they're changing a couple of things. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see. I felt bad for Adam on the Rosebud. He had a 9-hour street for charity. Yeah, he knows. He's a professional. He knows what he's doing. I enjoy his how I would book videos, and I often find myself agreeing with them. Or maybe there was hope. Stan. Yeah, could be. The match at the Royal Rumble did not help. See, I thought it was a really good spectacle. I enjoyed it, but it was a really, really short, almost pointless match. And obviously Bray was always going to win it, and the Mountain Dew neon stuff didn't help, but Bray looked terrifying. Bray didn't need to be the Fiend when he was just being Bray like that. And I don't get whose side Uncle Howdy is on now, because he was attacking Bray a few weeks ago. So they need to start telling a bit more story now with that. The thing is, though, if they start telling the story, people go, oh, he's not wrestling anyone. I want him to wrestle someone. Then they put him in a feud and get him wrestling somebody, and people go, oh, yeah, they're not giving us answers about Uncle Howdy. So it's like they can't win. I feel quite bad for them. So I'm going to keep the faith when it comes to Bray Wyatt. They have to move at the time a little bit, but I think the two guys writing this, Triple H and Wyndham Rotunda, both know exactly what they're doing. Ticket sales are increasing, but I doubt it's sold out. Right? Do we mean Mania? I imagine they won't be far off. You got me and Ant and Dom and Dan there, and we'll be making a lot of noise, I can tell you. I lost my voice at Clash at the Castle. I don't know how the hell I'm going to survive Mania. What's the bet? By the first day at Mania, I'll just be like, crow. There might be a lot of comments on the howdy jump. Yeah, I didn't get the point of that. I thought it would have been better for him just to like lean down menacingly than look away. You know what I mean? Just like sometimes less is more. There's a chance Ronda might show up tonight. I did see that as a rumor. I just don't know how true it is, because word on the street is she's in the doghouse, isn't she? Oh, guys, I'm going to take a quick break. To yawn. No, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break to make a cup of tea, and I'll be back with you in a minute, if that's okay. Normally, when me and Dom can tag team this, but when it's just me, got to do it this way. There we go. No, it will not be long. Hello, I'm back. Natty versus Shayna. Oh, Ronda Rousey. She's here. Ha, and Mark's comment still up. Yeah, I got my cup of tea. I also got snacks. Oh, Ronda doesn't look happy. Not Ronda, Shayna. Oh. Shayna Ronda feud. Who let her out of the doghouse? Let's be honest, she's a draw. She's a big star. That'll be why. And all our banners have gone off. Let's put them back, shall we? That's better. I've just realised as well, without Hassan to remind me, we didn't do one of the votes. Shots is out. I've got like cauliflower thingy snacks. They've got to do something between these two. Oh, Shayna going to attack Ronda. Oh, no. Nearly. Jay is very conflicted. Speaking to Sami. I'm hitting the mute button while I eat my food. This really does build to Kevin Owens and Sami versus the Usos at Mania. Then this has to break down, doesn't it? I've got another view, Taylor, as to what they might do. 2 seconds. So I think Jay is going to turn on Sami. KO will come out and help Sami. It'll be an ambush on Sami, obviously. They'll do the match, maybe at Mania. Sami and KO win or lose, whatever. Then Roman loses his titles, starts becoming a tribal pain in the what. And that's when they turn on him. And then they can maybe look at reuniting Sami with the Usos then in some way. Because this has to end with Roman Reigns being on his own, doesn't it? Just being isolated and having no friends, no family, no nothing. They have to send him to rock bottom to then build him back up as a babyface, don't they? I suppose. Or maybe just keep him as a heel indefinitely for a while, rather longer. And who's to say he's actually losing to Cody at Mania? They might just not do it. Like Cody won the Rumble though, which is what everybody thought was going to happen. So maybe they're leaning into our desires. So they say crowd wants Ronda gone for WWE. They didn't pop or even boo. Maybe because I'm a WWE fan and I like having Ronda in the company. She doesn't offend me in any way. I like her matches. I don't think she's brilliant, but I like her legitimacy. I just want a good story for her. I don't know. I think there's a place for her. And I think it should involve Shayna. Anything they do should involve Shayna. I always wanted them to do the 4 horsewomen of NXT versus the 4 horsewomen of UFC. I always wanted that, and well, not going to get that now, are we? Really, I hope not. So it's good to Mania, especially with the audience. Yeah, could be, maybe. Ooh, they're talking about the UK show, which I'm fairly sure I'm going to be at. I'm pretty sure Dom will be at it with me because we'll be doing it at WrestleSphere. But Ant and Dan could come as well for representing Give Me a Hull, yeah. So that'd be pretty cool. And LA Knight's not dead. Hooray! Joe's 100% turning on Sami at the Chamber, yeah. I think it's to turn on Sami first, but I think ultimately then they'll turn on everybody will turn on Roman. Roman's going to push everybody to the brink. I want to go, well, you know what to do, Taylor. The tickets are made available. I think Dom and I are probably going to push for press passes, you know, I imagine. It won't be a case of me sitting in a bar while he does all the work like it was at Clash of the Castle. That was the best. Oh, is that the waiting lists for when tickets go on sale? Yeah. Oh, here comes Liv. Good. I thought it was a different waiting list then. I got worried. But if I'm in the press pit, I suppose it doesn't matter, does it? And we are liaising with WWE's PR people now, which is really, really nice for WrestleSphere. You know, Dom already had them as contacts because of SoundSphere. But the whole point of WrestleSphere is we can lean into the wrestling stuff a lot heavier without necessarily having the music stuff. We can say, look, we're a wrestling publication. Like, yes, we've got a music publication, but we've got the wrestling stuff as well. So, you know, we'll come to your events, we'll cover it. There doesn't have to be a musical angle. We can just do the wrestling stuff. They're not as cool as you. I don't think it's a case of that. I think it's just a case of I steered my career in that direction, and it took a long time to get it to, you know, the point of where I wanted it to go. That's for sure. Oh, Hassan, you're here. Cool. Yeah, you can get a vote. We're going to do that now. I didn't do the last one. Oops. What am I doing? There we go. We'll end the previous vote. Oh, wow, 50%. Nobody won that one. That's cool. So who wins? Morgan. Chelsea. And Sonia. I've lazily not even included their surnames in that as well. Chelsea. And who's it? Strowman. Sonia. Cruella. There we are. LA Knight done with the Bray feud. Yeah, looks like it. Sassy says, I don't think it is. It probably should be, shouldn't it? The question is, where does he go from here? I'm actually really interested to see where they go. I'm into it. I desperately want it to work. I want Bray Wyatt to be a big star, you know. I think he already is. It's just a case of doing it right. Yeah, Sonya Deville's super talented. Again, she's a shooter, isn't she? He becomes LA Day. As long as they don't call him Dupree or Max Dupree again. God. That was the worst. And it's still going on, isn't it? In some form, that bloody maximum male models stuff. Ugh. Cup of tea, such a cure-all, isn't it? First thing I'm going to do tomorrow is go and get some Lemsips. I don't know if you guys in the US know what Lemsips are. I don't know if you have them over there. But when you're ill in the UK, that's all I ever want. It's like just a paracetamol lemon drink. That's all it is. But it's so good. It doesn't taste nice. It just kind of... It's got like a comforting thing to it. And I've run out. And I can really use one right now. Yeah, you're right. This is a more whiny, cartoonish version of that person, isn't it? Not the nasty, bitchy heel we got there. Lemsips aren't as strong in the US, so they exist. They're just not as strong. That's weird. Why is that? They're not that strong here anymore, though, are they? They're nowhere near as strong as they used to be. They used to knock you out, where now they're just a little bit like they'll help you sniffle a bit. Yeah, I think they used to be a bit more potent, didn't they? Here's Madcap, who was like WWE's most hated man. And then everybody loved him. It was the braces. He lost the braces and people turned face and everyone liked him. It's his real life girlfriend as well, isn't it, Emma? Kofi used to be built, didn't he? Used to be like big lad. Kofi Mania. God, that ended with a whimper, didn't it? WWE's Wardlow. Who do we mean? Kofi. No, it'll be 2 minutes, guys. I've got a cat trying to get in. What do you want? You gonna go out? Okay. Off you go. Yeah, Madcap. Yeah, I see what you mean. Although he's a bit more, a very, very different kind of character, isn't he? More of a bouncy baby face than a moody killer like Wardlow. That was my cat trying to get out, so cats always scare me, he says, to be honest. As you're going to go to sleep now, who lets them in? He can get in on his own. Well, what I'll do is I'll probably give him a call. And we've got, because of the way our house is organised, we can open one of these windows and it'd be perfectly safe to do so. And if, you know, like, if the garden is totally secure, so if anybody ever did get in and climb through the window, then they'd have to deal with the dog and then they'd have to deal with me. So, yeah, it'd be funny. Also, my wife's up at like 5 a.m. to go to work because she's a nurse, so she'll probably let them in. I often wake up about, after I've done a stream, I might wake up about lunchtime covered in cats and dogs. Well, one of the dogs and two of the cats will both be sat on me, like cuddled up to me while I'm asleep. So she'll let them in. They don't go out long, both the cat. Our cats are quite old now, so they don't go out long and they don't go very far. But because we live in a nice rural area, they want to go out and hunt mice and do all that sort of stuff. Chelsea tapped out after getting pinned. That's the ultimate snivelling heel move, isn't it? I'm just glad I start work at midday. Yeah, I don't blame you. Are you working at Dixerto tomorrow, Taylor? You do a weekend shift? I think I'm just a Monday to Friday guy. Gaming news features. Did a feature we're really proud of this week for Lost Ark. Really proud of that work that we all did. It was a team effort. It wasn't just me who did it. It was a team effort, but it was very proud of that. I put it on Twitter if anyone wants to read it. All about how the game's been out a year and has, you know, become a real contender. That's I am. Each day, 12 to 8, so I can catch the wrestling. I like that. I don't think I could work weekends in that kind of way because of just how life is structured now, even doing the streams and stuff like that. You've got one, Hassam. You've got one. I think there's one live right now. Well, I'm saying that it's ended, hasn't it? Well, see what happens next, and we'll do that. I'm getting tired, you see, so I don't know. Oh, you don't work weekends, oh? Got school tomorrow in the afternoon. How do you mean, Sassy? Like, are you studying for something, or are you teaching them, or etc., etc.? Oh yeah, that match is over. So see, we're not going to have a vote just yet, Hassan, because we don't know what's up next. I know I've got the run sheet, but we'll wait and see what happens before we do it. I've got to wait and see, make sure it's not a squash, make sure it's not one of those cage matches that we don't get. Freelance at the weekends after it. Yeah, me too, mate. I've got obviously Dixerto is my full-time job. I do work with Dom with WrestleSphere as well. I do some stuff on my own as well. I do some fitness writing as well, would you believe? As that's one of my niches. Oh, of course. Yes, of course. Oh, pastoral counselling. Oh, I see. Interesting. I've always got I think counselling is good for everybody. I don't care where you are in your life, how happy you are, or whatever. I think every single person in the world should do therapy. I really do. I think so, because I've had it. I think it's incredible. Really helps you sort things out and get things straight. So beneficial. Charlotte's talking to Cole. I do think she's one of the best female wrestlers ever, Charlotte Flair. I honestly do. I think the only thing with Charlotte Flair is we've seen her do everything, so it's sometimes hard to make it exciting. But that's not her fault. Although I think she's a better heel than she is a face. History and psychology. Oh, right, awesome. I've got an A-level in history and psychology. An A-level in the UK, Sassy, is like... so you finish school at 16 in the UK, but then you've got the option to go and do further study, and that's where you do your A-levels. I don't know if it's... at least that's how it was when I was in school. I don't know if they've changed it since then. But that's when you you pick the 3 or 4 things you're going to specialise in before you do a degree. And you end up probably doing your degree in one of those things or something connected to it. Although I did my degree in my 20s. I didn't go at 18. I went at like 22 instead. As 18-year-old me only cared about 2 things. I'll let you guess what they were. Funny we should say that while Scarlett's on screen. This is the Karrion Kross I want to see. BA in psychology. Yeah, my BA's in journalism. And BA biblical studies. Oh, cool. I'm a very secular chap, but but respect, you know. Copy that message I sent, Sam. Which one? Where are you sending me messages? Or Jimmy Havoc? You have to tell me which one you mean, dude. If it's on Slack, I haven't got it open because the thing with Slack is I don't turn off notifications, so it'd go off during the stream. Yeah, you know what, Hassan? You can. Hey, look at that. Love that, Hassan. Love that, Taylor. Is it going to let me copy it, though? Hang on. It's not going to let me. It's not going to let me. Just gives me the option to... I have to type out myself. So it doesn't give me a copy and paste option. That's so annoying. Damn it. If you could WhatsApp it me. Oh, no, you can't do that either. It won't work. He needs to chop his hair off, though, doesn't he? He does need to chop his hair off. We go back to like the evil, scary, bald guy thing. Right, I'm going to do your vote, Hassan. I don't know why I'm saying your vote. It's not your vote. It's all of our vote. But you know what? You care the most. So we'll put you in charge of it. Liv and Raquel won the last poll by a significant margin, 80%. You know what? I might be able to nick it from Twitter. Taylor, you're correct. If you've just sent it to me on Twitter, haven't you? Done the work for me. Shall we see? Yeah, there we go. Got it. Love that. I appreciate that. Oh, but it's going to have to... You know, I can make this work. It'll be more helpful for the banner, I think, because the poll I've got to put everything individually. Oh, it doesn't even let me put all the characters in. My God. Karrion Kross, Rey Mysterio, Santos Escobar. Who's the other person? Madcap Moss. You can't type, can't you? There you go, Sam. Well, we are live. Go for it. Booyaka, booyaka, 619. I'll do the banner quickly as well. Oh, Imperium, watching from up on high. Imperium are brilliant. Using the ticker this week. I don't always use the ticker. I'll give it a try, see if I prefer it. I think Dom doesn't. Dom's not a fan. I'm just seeing. Oh, now we get an ad break, just as things are about to get good. Zelina, aka Tommy N squeeze alert. Where was Zelina? Oh, she's come out with Legado. Yeah. Tommy End, of course, that was his name on the Indies, wasn't it? In WWN and stuff. But the adverts. Typical WWE. Or the ads. Yeah, Dan was considering joining me, Dan Hargreaves. He was like, I might come and join you. But then he was saying, you know what, I've got work at 9 a.m. I said, you got work at 9 a.m.? I said, it's madness if you join me. You'll be exhausted. Don't do that. Because tomorrow I'm going to lie into lunchtime. So I can do that. You, however, got to be in work. Yeah, Sassy, yeah, exactly. Thank God for pay-per-views, eh? Next time you're alone, I'll join you. Yeah, I think you're often a Friday dude, aren't you, Taylor? Yeah. I think it's because it happens late at night. My wife has never sat through a full stream, but there have been occasions where she's kind of like watched on her phone. She's lurked, watching what we talk about. And it's given me some feedback, which I won't share. Some of it was good. A lot of it was good. Not all of it. It is better though, like when there's two here, because you can bounce off. So it's like it's good when Dom's here because we can bounce off each other. But I'm not bothered about doing it on my own anymore. I used to be like, oh. But I think, you get more confident the more you do it, and you realize it's not scary. Just be careful what you say because it lives forever on YouTube. I'm just not feeling the Viking Raiders. Is anybody else? I don't know. I just feel like it's just not a believable gimmick at all. And why do they keep putting Natalia in these weird hats? Does anybody know? Considering Gunther's the IC title champion, he hasn't got very good seats. I mean, we've always got better. We've got better seats at that than we go to the go home show with SmackDown. You certainly are, Sassy. We can always rely on the core crew, can't we? What's really cool is when it hits the algorithm and then you wake up in the morning, you look at it, and it's had like 1,000 views since you went to sleep, and you're like, what? What? Doesn't happen often, but it happens now and then. I don't know why it happens. It's just something to do with the algorithm. I want to say it's a sister's company. What do you mean? Who do you mean? I don't know. I'm getting tired, you see, Taylor. That's what it is. My brain isn't as fast as it was 2 hours ago. And it wasn't especially fast then. Oh, Santos Escobar screwed over Karrion Kross. Oh, right. Natalia's sister, of course. I didn't follow her on Instagram because I thought she was, like a bot. All these bots are pretty girls that follow you, and which probably make up half of my followers. But then I realised she's Natty Neidhart's sister, so I thought I will follow her now. I can't get told off by my wife then for following a pretty woman. That's the thing with my job. You've got to keep your Twitter completely professional. But you can't help what other people share sometimes. So just don't go scrolling through your phone when you're having dinner with your in-laws, just in case someone posts something dodgy on Twitter, which they do. Oh, here we go. Let's see this. More likes, exposure, equal searches on YouTube. Yeah, exactly, Sassy. And it's that's what we kind of need to do because we've got lots of subscribers on YouTube for Give Me a Hull, yeah. We need to try and build up WrestleSphere as well, but WrestleSphere is not going to be a part. Obviously, nothing streams or podcasts. It's all about interviews and journalism, where this is all about us chatting and talking about stuff and doing what we do. But yeah, I think we are now. We're taking growing the channel a lot more seriously now. Not that the guys weren't doing it before, but part of, I think, bringing me in has been a little bit like, right, where can we grow? Where can we do this? Where can we do that? Because it's what I've done in my career so many times. I don't think they've just brought me on board just because I've got a lot of wrestling knowledge. That there's a few other things that I'm trying to bring to the table. And we make a good team, all of us. Taylor, you're saying. How many Twitter DMs do you get asking for you to join in with NFT campaigns? Not so many of them. I think I mostly get stuff about it's a lot of stuff out like, would you want to play this game or that sort of thing? And I often I'm very, very polite and I say, message me here, email me at Dixerto, and if it's something I can do, I'll forward it to my bosses and see what they think. But then I get a lot of hate mail on Twitter. I get a lot of people telling me to, do things to myself and stuff like that because they might not agree with something I've written. Yeah, I get quite a lot of them. Mostly it's about gaming stuff, but what are you going to do? I'm not going to share anything because it wouldn't be right to put anyone on blast. It'd be unprofessional. Work wouldn't like it. So, but yeah. It's not that often. But that's the most I get. The most of the DMs I get are people telling me they disagree with something I've written in an article. But that's part of the job. You accept that when you take it on. Thank you for so much for building the channel on the streams. Yeah, well, it's not just me. It's obviously it's Ant, Dom, and Dan as well, and everyone's putting in a little bit of work behind the scenes to do certain things. For me, it's a case of how can we use social media effectively? How can we what can we? Is there anything we can stream that people might want to watch and that sort of stuff? That's why you've seen a lot more roundtable discussions and things like that. But most of them are Dominant's idea, not mine. You know, with we share every stream from every channel. We all like it. We all share it. We all do that. We ask our loved ones to do it. We use the right hashtags, that sort of stuff. It's working because we are getting bigger, so that's cool. Ideally, we want both Gimme a Hold Yeah and WrestleSphere to be as big as they can be. Who knows? Like, if it'll end up being our full-time jobs, maybe like one day in the future. Although you'd have to work very hard to pry me away from video games, that's for sure. Yeah, they did. Yeah, it's exactly what they did. Another ad break. It's getting ridiculous, isn't it now? Yep. And we really notice it watching American TV. You really notice it. Who's the worst in the UK, Taylor? Because obviously the BBC, we don't get adverts to the BBC, do we? Everything just goes through without ads because BBC is funded by the license fee, which I fully support. ITV, I think their ads often last a lot longer, don't they, than Channel 4 and 5. You say Channel 4, yeah. I think who else is the Sky? Are Sky pretty bad or? No, I suppose Sky don't put much in the way of ads on, do they? Or they just might make one or two. Because I've always felt like Channel 3 does it the longest, or a lot of their shows are geared around ads. ITV is longer, but you get longer in between. Oh, right, okay. See, I just don't watch commercials at all. I don't watch any live TV at all. I watched The Apprentice the other night. I watched that live. And I was an absolute mark while I watched it because they went to Terminal 3 of Heathrow Airport and I text the Gimme a Hold Yeah group saying, boys, they're in Terminal 3. That's where we're flying from. And then later on, they were at the O2 Arena. And I was like, boys, they're at the O2 Arena. We're going to go and see SmackDown and Money in the Bank there. My wife is like, you are so sad that you're doing that. Karrion Kross beating down Rey Mysterio. Imperium watching from above. Madcap Moss is fired up, and I like Madcap Moss when he's a fighter and he's kicking ass rather than joking around and messing about. So I'm into this match. I think everybody in it's really good. That's why. Santos Escobar, does he need a bit more attention on the main roster? Because I feel like in NXT they were like a real threat, where on the main roster, not so much. They're not like jobbers or anything, but they haven't like made a big impact or anything. They feel like mid-carders. They feel like they're not the scary threat they were in NXT. It's a weird one. They just need a good story. That's what they need. I think who we still got in with us tonight? Taylor, Sassy. I think Hassan's happy because he's got a vote. See, look, they've got crap seats. They're up in the cheap seats, those boys. I think all seats are good, aren't they? But if I was the Intercontinental Champion, I'd be sat way closer to... Why didn't they just go to the commentary booth and sit there? You know? How does everyone feel about the Elimination Chamber matches? And because you remember when Elimination Chamber was something that people used to get another opportunity to get to WrestleMania to do something, like a little bit like the Rumble. I feel like they've just made it about the US title, and it's like, it's a good way of making the US title important, because you've now kind of got like a pay-per-view built around it a little bit. But I prefer it when the Elimination Chamber is used like the Rumble. It's used as a way for somebody to become a number one contender and cash that opportunity in somewhere, rather than it be about a belt itself. That's just me. Because that way you can book a second match out of it. You can then book an event somewhere, like you can then book something for Mania, because the Elimination Chamber winner got to do this. Just me. Oh, Rey Mysterio accidentally clocked Scarlett in the face. Oh. I've just realised SmackDown will be going off the air soon. We're going to have to get our picks in. So, match of the night, performer of the night. I've actually forgotten what the third thing is. Right, what? God, for a minute I thought Madcap had won the IC title. Here we go. Paul Heyman. No, it's Jimmy he's talking to, isn't it? Yeah, Madcap getting a push. It looks like it. Heyman Smithers is like a snake. Yeah, no one does it better. No one does it better. It's so weird when I do this, because after I wake up in the morning, it's like I can't remember half of what happened on SmackDown. So I have to kind of skip through it and watch it again, see what I missed. There we go. And that's SmackDown in the books for another week. So next week, Dom will be back, but I won't be here next week because I think I'm doing New Japan Battle in the Valley the day after. So I'm probably going to need to rest before that. I think Dom might be doing Elimination Chamber with Dan. But we'll see. I don't know how it's all. It depends on what we're all doing, but we're doing everything obviously because we always do. So, right, match of the night, performer of the night. What am I missing? Is there another one that we do? So, match of the night. There wasn't a tremendous amount of wrestling, was there? Really? I think the Usos versus Ricochet and Braun Strowman is the only thing that stands out to me on that show as a good wrestling match, really. Saying that, there was that last match, wasn't there? So you know what? I'm gonna change my picks. I'm gonna go for the last match of the night, and I'll give performer of the night to Madcap Moss because he won it and got the IC title shot. Yes, so I'm gonna go with that, the Fatal 4-Way, and I prefer matches like that to tag team wrestling anyway. So it makes sense for me to do. Yeah, Sassy's giving the show a 5, which is quite harsh. Do you know what? I'm gonna give it a 6. And I'm only going to do that because I feel like the Paul Heyman, Sami Zayn stuff dragged it up a little bit. But if it weren't for that, I'm disappointed there was no Bray. But I think I'll give it a 6 just to be kind. But yeah, it wasn't a must-see show, was it, by any stretch? I think if I was to watch that show back tomorrow, I'd just watch the promos and keep on moving. But anyway. So, guys, anyone else want to get theirs in? Taylor, Sassy? Anybody else who might still be lurking about? And if not, we'll wrap it up and I'm going to go to bed. Try and get to bed handy. At least as handy as I can. Let's end that final poll and see what people said as well, shall we? Ooh, Karrion Kross won it, but by a slim margin. Got 7 votes. Mysterio got 42%. Nobody went for Escobar and nobody went for Madcap Moss. Wow, so everybody got it wrong. See, I thought Rey Mysterio was going to win, but I wanted Kross to win. Performer Moss, yeah. I think we sort of have to, don't we, with that, because he got the opportunity. That the Usos put on a good showing with Ricochet and Braun, but it wasn't game changing, was it? Right then, guys, I think it's. I know we've got a few people watching, and people are leaving because it's SmackDown's over, so that makes sense. So I think we'll call it a night, really, guys. Again, thank you for joining us. Before we go, Ant will kill me, so I'm just going to quickly go through the memberships because I said I would. So again, we've got memberships for every budget now. So on our Hulomaniac tier, we have Dan Reed of Eve Wright Girls of Wrestling. We've got Dex Baker, who's one of our Hulomaniacs, and Mark LFC, who was in with us tonight. Still have nobody on the hardcore tier. So if anybody wants to become our sole hardcore Hulomaniac, it's all there. And our Hulomaniac champion is still very much Sassy, reigning unopposed. So if somebody wants to come and challenge her for that title, you know what to do. And we'd certainly appreciate it if you did. Okay, there we go. Let's just bring that back. You can tell I'm tired. There's my face again without all the SmackDown stuff. So, right then, guys. So a little bit more housekeeping. So, it's Friday now, so I don't think we've got any wrestling on this weekend that I'm aware of. So, I imagine Dan will be back doing Monday Night Raw, as he usually does. Again, if anyone watching this who doesn't normally watch us could like and subscribe, that'd be awesome. If you like kind of what we do. We're also launching WrestleSphere now. The confirmed date is a month late, but that's just because it took longer than we thought. 20th of February, the website is being launched. We got to look at it today, so it could go live any minute, really. But we're just doing some finishing touches to it, and that is going live. It's going to be somewhere where we put interviews. We've already done several interviews for it under the WrestleSphere banner. I sat down face to face with Josh Alexander the other day, the last weekend, the Impact World Champion. That's why I wasn't doing this stream. That was pretty cool. We're going to put that up on there. We're going to make that as a feature. So if you like the idea of the Gimme a Holy Air boys interviewing wrestlers more often, that's where you'll get to see that. We won't be doing any more interviews under the Gimme a Holy Air banner. We're going to be doing all of them under the WrestleSphere one. But Gimme a Holy Air, nothing will change there. It'll just be, we're still going to do the streams, still going to do everything we do here. Just anything journalistic we'll do over there. But it's simple as that. So we can have a bit of fun and be ourselves here. So right, okay then guys, thanks for joining us. Let's just see who's going to see us out. Who did we have? We had Shotzi Blackheart seeing us in, didn't we? So I think there's only one less thing to do. I'm going to do I always do the whole yeah thing a little bit more reserved than everybody else, but 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whole yeah. And now I struck a fumble around for the overlay. See you soon, guys.
From the new day, give me that whole yeah. Give it to me. I need it.